sit it. Oh, it's Teddy's cooler.
It's my cooler.
Put it on his lap.
Put it on his lap. Put it on his lap.
Yeah.
There you go.
What's happening?
Yeah, Brian.
There's coolers in here. Is there coolers?
There is coolers.
Is there like Pokemon cards?
No
Everybody,
congratulations, Mr. Brian, on 5 years.
Beach! Beach! Beach!
Brian, get up here and give a speech.
Yeah, Brian.
I'll just stand and do it.
Yeah, Brian. You got this, Brian.
Well, thanks for 5 years, guys.
Morning, Brian.
Morning.
Brian.
Just gotta say, I'm happy to work with the best people. So, you guys are all awesome.
Yeah, we are.
I'm lucky to be here.
Yeah, you are. Free speech!
That was like the best speech we've had.
Wait, do it again. I wasn't listening.
Give me one of them coolers.
You want a course?
Yeah.
I was listening, but just in case I missed
Tuesday.
something, just say it all again.
Yeah.
Well, we don't got time for that.
All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Congrats, Brian.
Thanks, Kev.
I wish I'd been here for all 5 years, but since I've been here, you've improved quite a bit. But so I'm excited to see you in another 5. We'll be running this place.
Morning, everybody.
Been around long, I'm retired.
I'm like, morning, Brian.
What? Good morning. What?
Wait, come here a minute. Let me low five you. You want to go to the bucket?
Notice how he did this? Because he's a tree guy, so he's too poor.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 2 bucket pistol grips on my wheelchair.
Still on the bucket.
Attached to the bucket. Yep, there I go.
Fucking PTO don't work no more.
Back in my day. All right, guys. All right. So we're gonna begin our ISA, but really tree biology, pruning, start on it. So I really want to stress to you guys, especially the newbies, Jaron, Big Cheese, Daniel. Is that somebody's device? It needs to go away.
What does that even mean?
Nobody knows.
I don't even know how to use it. I think I'm back email.
Cool. So, all right. Some of it's gonna be.
What if it's low speaker?
Well, it shouldn't say snap on. Anyway, all right. Some of this is gonna be pretty dense. If we need to, like I said, if we need to take the time for you guys to understand it, let's do so. It's also the benefit for myself, right? Because I'm not the expert. There are some things in here that I don't fully understand, so we can work through them together. But the goal is to understand trees, understand how they function, what they do, their growing environments, why we take care of them, how we're going to take care of them, the response to what we do to them. So they're pretty cool. Trees are super fascinating. The biology part is my favorite part, so I'm glad they put it first in the book. But again, it's a lot, especially for 6:30 in the morning. So sip your coffee, and anybody got any questions before we begin?
What's a tree?
What's a tree? A tree is a perennial that puts on woody something or another. How's it go again? It's a
Large woody perennial.
large woody perennial. Yeah, there we go.
Something like that.
Something that compartmentalizes. You studied too. All right. By MCK, whatever. Oh, I should have brought some. Hey, will you go grab me, find me some twigs?
What features are you looking for?
Those ones.
There's some out front. You can just snap some branches off.
Woody and compartmentalizes. All right. So tree biology, this is the study of the cells, the structure, the organs. Trees have organs, there's 5. What their functions are, how the nutrients translocate through the tree and distribute it to sapwood, wood, cork cambium, cork, all that fun stuff, and how they grow. That's going to get really, really distracting.
Turn off the Bluetooth.
Yeah,
Is it
like
the
maybe
GoPro?
turn off.
You've got man.
Right next to where the Wi-Fi. Wait, you know, next to the Wi-Fi?
My folks had Yahoo and it was just like,
Yeah, that little up tab.
oh, I never had that.
I did.
There you go.
About 20 years after taking class.
Yeah, no faxing on our end.
Oh. Yeah. No.
What?
How's the job, Omari nerd?
Alright, so we're just gonna read through some of this stuff. I might browse and skip over some of the things, but we'll read through it and then we'll talk about it, okay? Alright, a tree by definition, oh there we go, is a woody perennial plant with a single or multiple trunks. No. That's what Alex Shigo said. Trees are woody, long-lived, compartmentalizing perennials. According to Alex Shigo. Who knows who Alex Shigo is? Yeah, okay. Eventually, you guys all should be raising your hand. He's the godfather. He's the first man who spearheaded into the woods, started cutting trees apart, figuring out how they function. He documented it. He invented the coded system, the compartmentalization of decay in trees, which is how trees seal, they don't heal. Just stretch it. Genius man. He has long passed away, but it is our job to carry on his torch and to continue our education with that. So, big shout out to Shigo. Anyway, so that's who that guy is. All right, so they are woody, long-lived, compartmentalizing perennials. These unique characteristics have contributed to the fact that trees can be successful, long-lived organisms despite environmental challenges. All right, what does perennial mean? I always get these two mixed up. What's the difference between an annual and a perennial?
Annuals live a year.
Annual, it's one and done. Shines all its glory in the spring and summer, dies off in the fall, and then it never comes back. Okay? So trees, shrubs, right, they're perennials, so they, right, if they keep growing and they're not old and dead or dying of drought, right, good growing conditions, they're going to shed their leaves, go in the fall, go dormant, put on the root growth, and then come back next spring and flush out that growth, okay? So perennial, per annual, so per year, annual, one and done, okay? So trees are not annuals, they're perennials. Arboriculture is both an art and science. It combines skill and craft with knowledge and fact. The healthy foundation for the practice of arboriculture is thorough understanding of how trees grow. The skilled arborist learns how a tree grows and how to care for and manage it in a way that supports its growth and development. Like physicians, arborists use knowledge of growth and development to diagnose health issues, assess genetic potential, and prescribe treatments that are ethical and appropriate. The arborist must understand tree biology to prescribe a program of care. So last week, like I mentioned, right, we are tree surgeons, we are arborists. Like, we should wear that with a badge of pride. There's a lot of people that call themselves arborists that are not. The difference between those who are not and those who are arborists, understand how a tree, like we talked about last week, right? What is this tree's growing environment? We talked about the ash tree in the Broadmoor compared to the Siberian or the ash tree in Taco Bell parking lot. Okay? Site conditions, growing conditions. We talked about, which we'll get into hopefully today, terminal buds, right? What's its growing season? Thank you, Jacob, for posting that in there.
All sorts of bud arrangements.
Yeah, these are great. These are great, thank you.
More than I usually do.
From yesterday, or from the front.
Where came from, Millie?
Variety of things. All right. So, if you are an arborist, these are things that you should understand. A tree is like an individual, a human being, right? Depending on its growing seasons, you need to be able to look at that tree and say, hey, I can do this to this tree, or I cannot do this to this tree, okay? The study of tree biology is the study of structure and function and the relationship between them. It also includes the study of the tree within its environment. It's important. Anatomy and morphology are the studies of biology, physical and chemical process within these structures, providing the basis for function. This text will focus primarily on the biology of eucotyledons, angiosperm trees, but some attention will be given to conifers, which are gymnosperms, and palms, which are monocotyledons, angiosperms. More information about these classifications found in Chapter 2, Tree Identification. Okay, so we'll touch it a little bit on monocots and dicotyledons and angiosperms and gymnosperms. Basically, mono is one, cotyledon is seed. So monocotyledon means what? One seed. Okay. Dicotyledon, multiple seeds, two. Okay, so it's multiple seeds. So depending on the seed, it's going to be a monocot or a dicotyledon. This is where I'm not an expert on this area, so I would ask your guys' help. Eucotyledons is for basically all the trees, and it comes from all except for palms, because palms are grass, but we still as arborists take care of it. Okay, so palm trees are grass. They don't compartmentalize. They don't have the cell structure the same as trees do. So we'll talk about palms later, right? So Latin is used a lot in the classification, the taxonomy of the trees classification. So if you understand basic Latin like mono and di, it can kind of help you point towards that, okay? Now, gymnosperms and angiosperms, okay, mean either it's a covered seed or it's a naked seed, okay? So how I remember this, and this is just mine, you come up with your own, is if I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm not gonna wear a lot of clothes. So I'm gonna be naked. So gymnosperms are naked. They're naked seeds, okay?
What gym do you go to?
It's a special right? Because if I'm going to the gym, I'm not going to get dressed in like my full workwear and a sweatshirt, right? I'm going to like wear shorts and a tank top, you know, sun's out, guns out kind of stuff.
Welcome to Grindr.
Don't ask me why I thought of that, but hey, there it is, okay? So you're going to go to the gym, you're going to go naked-ish, gymnosperm, seed, okay? What is sperm? Don't answer that question, okay? Seed. It's the human seed, right? So gymnosperm. You guys getting that one now, right? So I'm gonna go to the gym naked, sperm naked, or it's the seed. Cool. What a great way to start the morning, right?
Yeah.
All right. So if gymnosperm is naked seed, what is angiosperm?
Clothed.
It's clothed.
Protected
Protected.
by latex.
Modest seed. Okay. You don't know where it's coming from. You can't, it's hiding. That's the dangerous one. All right. So, if I'm going to go to the gym, I'm not going. All right. So, gymnosperm. Give me an example. Those of you who know what it is. What do you guys think a? Not you guys. Don't you smart ones. Well, you guys smart in tree care. I'll call on you if nobody else does. What do you think a gymnosperm is? What species of tree? What do you think? Big cheese? Are you awake? Maple. Who agrees with maple?
No one.
No one. It's not naked. Let's keep going. Naked seed. What's
Oak.
think of a seed that's naked? Oak?
Yeah, acorns.
Okay. Are they covered?
Kind of covered.
Yeah.
In a hat.
What do you guys think? What about you, Juan? What do you think?
I don't know, pine cones?
Pine cones! Very good. Cool. Pine cones. Okay, pine cones. Naked. They go to the gym. their seed is naked. Okay? All right? Now, if I'm not going to go to the gym, I'm going to be modest. I'm an angiosperm. Right? What do you think, Jaron? Give me an angiosperm.
An apple tree.
Apple tree. Very good. Look at this guy. You get a fist bump. Okay? Do you guys understand? Okay? If it's got an enclosure, like the oak wall or nut,
Avocado.
aguacates.
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 Very nice.
Angiosperm. Chilies. Cherries. Angiosperm. What about a Laurencia triacanthos inermis?
Probably.
Or what about a Picea
Sounds like an
pungens?
angiosperm.
That's a
right?
gymnosperm.
Gymnosperm. There you go. Okay, so blue spruce. The first one was a honey locust. That's a angio. And it's covered. It's got its little cover in it. Okay? You guys tracking? Okay, so go to the gym, you're naked. Your sperm is naked. You don't go to the gym, you're the other one, the angiosperm. Okay? I gotta think of something clever.
What's another naked one other than a pine cone?
Angiosperm's just in the closet. It's just scared.
What about cottonwoods?
It's in the closet. What about what?
Are they cottonwoods?
Angiosperms.
Really?
Yeah, is that far?
Because it's like when it's mounted on the tree, not whenever it's
So the best way to think about it is probably 99% of your deciduous trees. So when I say deciduous, that means what, Omar?
It's our conversation.
and
Deciduous.
30-minute argument.
This one's for all the push-ups.
What does this have? Leaves. Okay, so deciduous trees have leaves. That means that they, most species, they fall in fall, right? Right. So they shed the leaves in the fall. So that's deciduous. So what do you think an evergreen is? Needles. Go, yeah.
It can be both though.
It can be both, right? That's why I said some of them.
Wait, what?
I didn't hear some of them.
All right, smart guy,
What kind of-
give me an evergreen that is a deciduous.
European larch.
Yeah, you just got me. Any of the larches really.
Right? So if they shed their
Dawn redwood.
foliage, right, I'm gonna use that broad
Dawn redwood.
spectrum. Needles are foliage. If they shed it annually, they're gonna be deciduous. Okay? If they don't, it's every few years, right? Because needles they do shed. It's more than a year, it's gonna be an evergreen. So think of it as they're green forever, right? So all year round. It's an evergreen forever, right? Deciduous, I got nothing clever for that one. They drop their leaves. So think about that, okay? Cool. So probably the majority, now you guys are smart quoting on this, I'm gonna say like 99% of deciduous trees are going to be angiosperms. Okay? So that means that their seeds are gonna be what? Jarrett? Covered. They're not naked. Very good. Now 99% of your evergreens are gonna be what?
Gymnosperms.
Gymnosperms. Good? Right, science. Science. Will be a test. Cool. Alright, we tracking? Because these terms are gonna come up quite a bit. Deciduous, evergreen, monocots, dicotyledons, angiosperms, gymnosperms. This all plays a part into classification and tree identification. Right? There's more to a tree than just the way it looks. Because you know how I know it's an aspen? Because the way that it is. Right? All right.
That's the one I know.
Any questions on those? Yes, sir. Sure.
How did Alex Shago come up with these names? So he just went up to a tree, looked at it, and he said, gymnastics.
So you're going to see correlation between human anatomy and tree biology. Okay. So the Latin is going to be like a cell's a cell, right? They're going to have cell parts that are associated with it. Now, how we came up with like cambium and xylem and phloem, I have no idea that's gonna be like a Latin person. I'm sure there's a Latin name that means, like xylem only flows one way. Phloem's gonna flow both ways, so I don't know, maybe that's a Latin reason. So, I don't know, anybody else know why or how? No? But there is when you take Latin, like in tree or human biology and those super smart people, that classification, there is meaning behind Latin, and Latin is international, so everybody understands all across the board. So based off of those names is probably how he came up with those classifications. Good question. Anybody else? Okay, all right. Okay, like I said, most of that's going to be in chapter 2. We'll talk about tree ID, but remember gymnosperms, angiosperms, monocots, dicotyledons, and eucotyledons, which is the new one back before I took my ISA test, which we'll have to learn about, okay? All right, tree anatomy, basic structure, cells and tissues. All living organisms share a basic organizational theme based on cells, tissues, and organs. Cells are the basic building blocks of structure. New cells arise from the division of existing cells in trees. This process occurs in specialized growth initiation areas called meristems. I hate that they do this. Okay. You get a twig. You get a twig. You get a twig.
They're terrible cuts.
You get a twig. You get a twig.
Oh, I like
Got
that.
an arm on them
You get a widow twig.
though. I like yours out.
You get a widow twig.
Oh, plant it.
You get a twig.
Nice dog.
3 or 5 years. Oh,
You get a fat one.
That's right.
get a spread on that thing.
Well, bless you, bless you.
Yeah, you get the whole thing because you're 5 years old.
The whole shebang, man.
You got a really big stick,
It's
dude.
widowy.
I got some good buds on mine.
So this is
I-
all you guys
Damn, look
twig,
at those
you're gonna
buds.
have to go home.
And that's a good bud,
Mine are all.
Oh, mine's got a yellow jacket.
It's all mama. Mine
Woke one up from hibernation.
Funny. Oh, yours is fatty, dude.
eating a leaf
That's a
curler
decent
apron.
one.
Getting ready, but it was cut.
Yeah.
Meristem.
Mine also are.
No more
Mine don't look like that lovely small one,
Like
but.
messed up one.
Yeah, that's
You get a long one.
This whole thing is the meristem. Yeah.
Atypical?
Apical.
You get the whole thing, Jacob.
Like apex.
Okay, everybody's got one?
Our lenticles are really pronounced.
Everybody say thank you, Jacob, for my sweet
Yeah.
twig.
Thank you, Jacob, for his sweet twig.
Very ashy. Very green and ashy.
Dude, that's a nice ass you got. Right.
Thanks, dude.
Now
Maybe you can come over and pollinate me later.
Wow.
Pollinate and chill.
I just pollinate these flamels.
Green.
It's not a Kentucky. You're right.
Green. Oh, that one?
Oh, it's a coffee tree.
Oh,
Yeah, that one's
Tree of heaven.
Is that a Kentucky?
Yeah, right.
Is it?
What?
A coffee tree.
I always get those two confused.
I can only tell whenever it has the little.
But it's not a walnut.
It's not a walnut.
Okay. All right. So this first statement is super important. Okay.
We need to.
New cells arise from the division of existing cells in trees. This process occurs in specialized growth initiation areas called meristems. Okay. Meristem, super important word to understand. So basically, the growth initiation zone is where I would call it. Now, we're going to tie these together when we get into roots. Roots also kind of grow the same way. Obviously, the roots provide a different function, but they basically grow the same way as the branches do. Obviously, they don't grow like that down. They have to go down and out, but they have meristems. Okay, so meristems is super important to understand and what is happening at that location. Okay, so what is that? Chief Ash Jacob Boyd.
Good ass.
All right. So at each of your the tips, take a look at the tips of your branches, okay, and see if you can't find that structure. Okay, now there's a difference between the petiole. So the petiole is going to be the stem or the starting of the leaf. Okay, that's not it. Okay, so just for you guys' reference, right, this is the petiole. Okay, this is what I'm talking about right here. Ash trees are really great at it. These oaks are going to be a little difficult to find, right? So yeah, right, so that's going to be it. Okay. What is happening at that location is going to be called differentiation, okay? And that is at every single tip of the twigs, okay? So tree anatomy, the petiole is going to be part of the leaf, okay? The twig is going to be the smaller section. Basically, it's a whittle branch before it becomes a bigger branch, okay?
Well
That's a twig. Huh?
Well said.
Okay?
I believe
It's a
in
whittle branch before it becomes a bigger branch. Twig. All right? Very good. Hey, nice job, Big Cheese. Okay? You found the twig. And it wasn't his own. All right.
I saw you at the gym, didn't you?
All right. So at the tip of that is the meristem. What happens at that meristem is very important. This is where, like I said, cell differentiation begins. Okay? So on a microscopic level, at every single tip of your twig, okay, at that meristem, differentiation is happening. What differentiation is cell division. So this is where the tree is deciding, hey, I'm going to be a branch. I'm going to be sap. I'm going to be the corcandium. I'm going to be xylem. I'm going to be phloem. I'm going to be a race cell. I'm going to be lignin. I'm going to be, come on, help me out, smart.
Thorn.
Cellulose, okay?
Thorn.
I'm going to be a thorn, right there. So, right, what's that?
Line clearancer.
Line clearancer, okay? I hope not. Right, so at that point, super important. So that's why if you were to just nip it in the bud, right? So if you were to nip that bud off, what do you think is going to happen? The tree going to keep growing?
No.
No. Nope, nope, nope. So right now, let's just say your guys' twigs were alive. You were to take each of those buds and nip them off, that tree is no longer going to grow at that location. Okay? See what I did there?
Yeah.
See what I did there? At that location. Now, we're going to get at the cormorant sprouts, right? Latent buds are going to be activated, but at that tip, so think about this when you guys are climbing around the trees. This tip, if you were to snap and break that off, that bud is no longer going that direction and it will never go that way. Okay? There's nothing you can do besides maybe directionally pruning something that way. That bud is no longer going to be going that way. So at that point is very, very important and super to understand, because if I know that, that means I can aim my stems and my twigs in the direction I want them to go just by looking at the meristems. Okay? I know the tree's going that way. Obviously it's easy to see because the twigs are growing that way, but now it's like, now I know because it's got a meristem. Okay? Everybody understand? Cool. Daniel, what happens at the top of the meristem? What's happening?
Terminal bud.
No, you're fired. Okay. What about you, Eric?
See you guys later.
Go grab some.
Damn.
Motherfucker.
Eric, what's happening at the meristems?
Oh, different.
Cell deviation.
Yeah, very good, very good. Give a round of applause, everybody. Self-differentiation, okay? Very, very important. This is where the tree decides what organ or what part of the tree it's going to be, okay?
Like stem, like stem cells?
No, not stem cells.
No,
So
like
it's
in your brain, like on the human equivalent. It's the same.
stem cells.
Yeah.
Okay, stem cells.
Yeah.
Okay. So stem cells are preloaded with information, and then they get activated by probably your DNA and your ribonucleic acid, and then they become your eyeball. That's basically the same thing, right? So instead of growing fingers and ears and hair, actually not hair, is hair? Probably not.
Yeah.
Or your nose, the meristem at the tip of that is deciding what is going to be the permanent structure for that tree, okay? Cool. All right, moving on. Actually, we're going to stay on this picture for a little bit because the next slides talk about it. All right, so the apical meristem, okay, is going to be at the tip of your branch. I'm going to borrow your branch. Can I have your branch? Your branch, okay? So on this one, right, I have three. Got one here, and one here, okay? That's the apical meristem. So apical, right, so we think about apical dominance. Apical means just the main point, or the apex, okay? So if you think about an arc, right, if you're throwing a baseball, the apex of its loft is the highest point it reaches until it comes back down, okay? So apical meristem is going to mean it's the highest point of that meristem.
So does that apply to every single
Every single one.
or just the top of it?
Every single one is going to be its apical meristem. Now, there is a dominant meristem, okay, which is going to be the one that is going to be leading the way, right? So ash trees, they love having many apical meristems, right? They love having a lot of codominant meristems. So there is a dominant meristem. So what will happen? So I'm gonna break in your wrench. I'm sorry. Okay. For things that maybe you smart people can help me understand, but I don't know. Trees know which one is dominant. Okay. So we have the apical meristem, which is at the tip of every twig, every single twig on your branch. But we have a dominant apical meristem. That one is important, very, very important, and important to find or establish, okay? So, yeah, Eric, yours is gonna have problems.
Is it always the tallest?
It's always going to be the longest,
Yeah.
okay? And one, yes, in, like as far as height, it's gonna be the dominant one,
This one.
but it's going
This
to
one?
be the dominant apical meristem is going to be the dominant of that branch. It's going to be the furthest out and the one heading towards the light. Okay? Now, this is important. Pay attention. Okay? That apical dominant meristem is suppressing the other meristems on a chemical way. Okay? I don't know how it does that because trees are super cool.
Just
David,
pulling more
Linda.
nutrients?
It's one of the hormones.
Hormones, that's
Is
right.
that is it oxygen?
Well, it's like a combination because there's like 3 of them. I can only think auxin's that.
Yeah, I feel like oxygen is in the apical meristem. It
Yeah.
suppresses the growth.
And there's like 2 others that influence your lateral, and then I don't remember the other one.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Cool. So we have hormonal suppression. So how it does that, super cool. I don't know how trees do that. Go on ChatGPT or hang out with David because he's super smart. But at that tip, that one, right? So let's just say these are my apical meristems, right? Because they're at the tips. This is my dominant apical meristem. This one is heading or giving suppressant hormones like auxins and cytokinins. I don't think that's one. That one sounds.
Does it also like pull more nutrients, or does it just
It does.
suppress?
It suppresses, which then it allocates more to that dominant.
So I did look it up and it says the plant hormone auxin is responsible for maintaining apical dominance, while cytokinin works antagonistically to promote lateral bud growth.
So there's different hormones. It's fun to go down that rabbit hole.
It is, yeah.
But the main thing I want to stress is that dominant apical meristem. Okay? This one is suppressing, and so it's going to be our main leader. Okay? Why is that important? Why do you think that's important to identify and understand? What's up? Straight is strong. Okay? What does that mean, Darren?
The straighter is you can compress more down on it. It won't break as much. If you show it straight. Like deciduous trees, you know how they go out and they snap and they fail. So I can feel good straight up. And that's a good center lead.
Okay.
I'm not too sure.
Okay, yeah, you're on the right path. Let's do a straight. Yes.
So if you, like, say you have to cut this one out, will one of these take over that role?
They will. How it does that, I have no idea, but
Yeah.
it's super cool. They do that. So we'll get into that next. That's where I'm kind of leading into. Okay. All right. So yes, so straight is good. The reason we want to identify or establish, right? And this is a great example. Better wake up, guy. Oh.
Yeah, that was good, dude.
Amen.
Sorry, Lord. Forgive me for interrupting the conversation with Omar.
Fired that one 20 years ago.
That's one,
Just
yeah.
20, not 25 push-ups. All right.
A little bit of grace there.
So the reason we want to identify or establish, right, is because we want to build good physical structure or anatomy of the tree. Okay, right? Just like going to the gym, we want to build good. We want to look like Brian after 5 years of doing tree work, right? We want to be the stout beast, right? We can smoke a pack a day and not affect them,
Right.
right? Okay. Right, he works out. He does a good job taking care of himself. We need to take care of the trees because some of them, like ash trees, like to self-destruct. Okay, so we want to establish a better structure so the tree has a longer life. If we did nothing with that tree and we didn't establish good structure with that tree, storms, outside elements will come along and will wreak havoc and we'll end up breaking bigger branches. Okay. So if we can establish good, strong leads and branch structure, we can set the tree for success and for longevity and promote and prolong its life. Okay? That is the goal. So when we're setting up and establishing that structure, right, we want to make sure we want to get rid of hard angles. Okay? Okay, right? So if I have a right angle like this, you guys can come up and you can pull my arm over, right? But if I have a strong arm like this, it's harder to you probably still could, but it's harder to pull and break that that joint right there, right? So the torque force, or what do they call it? Anyway, you guys see what I'm saying? Okay, so we want stuff like this. Okay, that is the goal. Okay, so with that apical dominance and understanding the apical meristems and which one is dominant, or establishing this dominant one, is going to be the one that's going to head that direction. So I've got this. I got 3 options. I got to decide which one do I want to establish to make the dominant lead. Right? This one's not giving me very good options. Right? So I definitely don't want this one. Okay? Now the question is, do I want it to grow towards Big Cheese or towards Omar?
Power lines.
Power lines. Where are the power lines at? Over that way. So we're going to take this one. Okay? Now it's going towards the power lines. Okay? That's what we want. Okay? Right? So that's how you have to think about it. Where is this going? Where's it going to be in 5 years? And which one do I want to make dominant? Because once you cut those off and suppress it, this one becomes the dominant meristem, suppresses the rest, okay? And then all nutrients are going to be allocated into that area to promote further growth in there. Okay? Everybody understand? Yes, sir.
But like, at what point are you taking too much and you're hurting the tree? Because I feel like if you just took 2 major stems and left only one, wouldn't that actually kind of harm it, or would it have more nutrients going to that one?
Fantastic question. Very good question. Okay. So how do we go about answering?
What do you think, Yoshida?
What was the question?
I'm gonna give you guys a hint on how I teach. I usually pick up people who are sleeping. Alright? So I'm gonna be asking, if you're giving me good eye contact, I know I'm not gonna pick on you. But if you're dozing off, I'm gonna be asking you questions, so please pay attention. Because this is for your benefit, it's well as mine, because I like to learn. But this is for your guys' time, okay? Please pay attention. The question was, how do I know when I take too much off, right? And you're in the perfect position because you've become a great ground guy. You're gonna start pruning here pretty soon, or hopefully have been. You gotta understand, what am I doing to that tree? Okay? So the question is, I'm gonna repeat it, is how do I know when I'm taking too much off?
You took more than, was it 1/3 or 2/3?
Ah, see, you are smart. So 1/3. We usually go by the 1/3 rule, okay? So if I have, I'm gonna break your branches now. Sorry, Jerry. Right, so 1/3, so I look at the overall in a, what's the word I'm looking for? I used it in rigging when we were talking about rigging. In a perfect world, where no other outside elements are involved, right? 1/3 is a great place to start, but it's not the rule, it's a starting point. So remember that, the 1/3 rule, okay? So the 1/3 is, in theory, you can take up to 1/3 of the foliage off of that tree and it can still survive. You don't want to take more than that though, okay? No, 25%. 1/3 is the diameter, backwards. Thank you for, you should have said something.
I don't know.
Yeah, okay. So, all right, scratch that. Sorry, guys. 1/3 is the diameter. We'll talk about that in a second. So 25% of the tree's foliage. Okay. 25% is what you take, not the 1/3. 1/3 is the diameter, and we'll get into that once you cut back to. Okay?
Is that all, or does that species?
That's a great place to start.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not gonna say, yeah, you can do it on elms, but not on crab apples, okay? 25% is the maximum and a great place to start. But like I talked about last week, right, we need to look at the tree. Is this the Broadmoor ash, or is this the Taco Bell parking lot ash? What are its internodes, or its terminal bud scars, right? What's the length of it? What species is it? What time of year is it?
Young or old?
What's that?
Is it young or old?
Is it young or old?
Take more out of the young tree than an old.
Yep. Young guys can handle more. Older guys, except for Al, you're the exception, can't handle as much. Okay? So that's a great place to start. So 25% is a great question, Solomon. 25%. So if I look at it as an individual, 25%, right, is about all I want to take. Now what's cool is I have options. Okay? I don't need just to take the whole, and again, we're not going to be pruning on this level. We're talking like 1-inch caliper branches. Okay, we're not talking about little twigs. I mean, unless we're structure pruning on small stuff. Okay, so we're making bigger cuts. I have options. I can go back to other buds, which then will become that twig's apical bud or apical meristem. Okay, and then we grow off of that. Okay, so we have options. Are we tracking? Okay, so 25%, and then what you cut back to, the 1/3 rule is, I want to make sure when I cut back to, the diameter of this is 1/3 or greater than the main parent stem that I'm cutting it back to. So if I want to cut back to this, I need to make sure if I do this, eliminate that branch, that this diameter of that stem that I cut back to is at least 1/3 the diameter of the main parent stem, okay? That makes sense? That's important, okay? The reason behind that is so that there is enough, enough hormones. Well, maybe that, I don't know about the hormones, but that there's enough energy or enough foliage and canopy to sustain what you cut back to. So I don't know if you guys remember last year we talked about the leaves. Remember our pruning class, right? These leaves are little pumps. Okay, so if I remove all the pumps off of this tree, right? Right, all these little pumps are going to be right? I'm gonna lion's tail this. Okay?
Is that a cherry?
I just took, no, it's a palm tree. I just took all of its pumps in a sense, right? So these leaves have to work extra hard to draw up those, the sap up into the stems, through the petioles to the leaves to create photosynthesis for the, not mitochondria, not chloroplasts. What is the stupid name of those? What's that cell called? Is it chloroplast? No. What is it? Chlorophyll.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay,
It's in
chlorophyll.
chloroplasts, yeah.
Chloroform, I mean.
The chlorophyll, right? Takes the sun's energy, converts that uptake of the atom by atom, remember we talked about the sap up into there, converts that into energy, into starches and sugars, and it's reallocated throughout the main stems. Okay? So if I have little pumps along the way, right, those leaves don't have to work as hard to bring that back up. Okay? Everybody tracking?
So it's not necessarily gonna kill the branch though, right?
Depends on the tree and its
Yeah.
vigor and species
Healthy.
and its growing condition. So yes, more than likely, but trees are pretty tough, so probably no. Okay, but it depends on its growing conditions. Okay. All right, so we're gonna recap because that's a lot. That's a lot of information right there. Okay. So what's a clothed seed called? Yeah.
Open one is gymnosperm.
Yeah, I know you were at the gym, that's why I did the other.
Closed one is, hold up,
So don't think of clothes, think of covered
yeah.
and naked.
What's the first letter? Give me the first letter.
A. A.
A? Ando?
Almost. All right, what about you, Brian?
Angiosperm.
Angiosperms. Okay, so angiosperms are covered or naked?
Covered.
Covered. Very good. Okay, so the gymnosperm, right? Going to the gym. Let's close. Gonna be naked. Gymnosperm. Okay. Monocot is what, Derek? Monocot. It's a monocot.
Yeah.
Monocotyledon.
One, I can't remember the cotyledon part or whatever.
Yeah, cotyledon. Right. So what's a cotyledon?
Seed.
Seed.
One seed. I was thinking
Okay,
one
one
pod.
seed. So if I'm a monocotyledon gymnosperm, what does that mean?
One open seed.
One naked.
One
One naked seed. Very good. You're smart. Cool.
Good job.
Very good. Very good. Okay. What is an evergreen? Mr. Big Cheese. Shante.
Evergreen is well, like
You're fired. Keep going.
You boy.
what's it called? Not the end shoot.
What's the difference between an evergreen and deciduous?
It's green all year.
Very good. Evergreen all year for multiple years.
Yeah.
Okay. And deciduous trees drop the leaves. Okay. Meristem. What is happening at the meristem? Josh.
Cell differentiation.
Differentiation. Yeah, that's it. Tough one. Okay. Yep. Cell differentiation. Cool. What is happening at the cell differentiation?
Yeah.
What is happening, Luke?
It's where they decide what they want to be when they grow up.
Yeah, that's where they want to be when they grow up, right? I'm gonna be xylem.
This one identifies as grass.
Cool, very good. I think that's a good spot to point or to stop. Good spot to stop. Good spot to stop. Anyway, cool. Look at trees. Look at the apical meristems. Find which one's the dominant meristem. Send it off in the right direction.
Quick question.
Yes, sir.
What causes deadwood?
The lack of nutrients and the ability to create uptake. So the cells die off in every point of
Source and sink, baby.
Good point.
source and sink. Yep. So hold on, there's a fancy word I want to come up with. Hold on. Gosh dang it, I need help. What's the term where it's reached the point of no return for the cells?
mortality cycle, or
It's close.
Climax?
It's,
I wasn't even trying to pick
there's a fancy word that's a term, there's a point to where
Fuck you
the
guys.
cells cannot recover from the loss of
Real boys and
the cell.
cradles.
There is that point.
Necrosis. Is it?
Desiccation, no.
Didn't sound like it.
I mean, is it necrosis?
Yeah, but there's a fancy word,
I wasn't
desiccation. It's like a desiccation point, right? There's a point to where the tree cannot recover back to what it has. So what that point is depends on the species of trees. At that point, so sometimes, and just to clarify, since we do have some time, how come, is this tree twig alive or dead? Right now?
Dead.
Alive
I
still.
mean, it's still alive.
It's still alive. How? Why didn't it just go, and shrivel up and turn to dead?
Stored energy.
Stored energy, okay? So at that point where there's not enough, and we'll get into what's going on inside the heartwood, into the sapwood, and what's happening in there. There's not enough stored energy or starches and sugars for this tree to produce again, and trees have to grow. They have to grow. If they stop growing, that's why creating bonsais are so difficult. They reach a point to where they cannot pull enough energy, there's not enough reserve in there to reflush out growth, and then that's when that desiccation happens, okay? So that's why trees take a long time, and sometimes, right, we'll talk about, like when we get into Ips beetle is a great example of knowing the difference between is this tree dead or not. Because you can see a tree that's been littered with Ips beetle hits. You know it's going to have blue stain fungus, which is actually what kills a tree, right? It's a fungus that clogs the vascular system or the cambium system of the tree. That tree is still going to be green for months. And then that's why we see the top die right, from the top down. That's because the tree is using up all of its stored energy. The top is always the hardest place to get that energy, right? The stored energy. So that's why it dies from the top down, because everything is just shrinking back into itself. Okay? So that's why when we hung this ashland, you guys notice it took a few weeks for those start to shrivel up and die, right? Because that tree, those leaves were still pulling out and pumping out energy. Good question. Okay, any other questions? Anything you guys want to add? Smart people? Jacob?
I think angiosperms are also like flowering as a way to understand. They're
Okay.
always flowering.
Okay, very good. Yeah, they flower. Okay. So does that mean a northern catalpa is an angiosperm? Yes. Yeah, it flowers. Okay. Crabapple is a flower? Absolutely. That's an angiosperm. Yeah, very good. Thank you, Josh. Anybody else?
The apical dominance of the meristem, it's chosen by the tree through a mix of its genetic code, light direction, and chemical signals. So that's how it knows to make that one little twig at the top.
Okay. So off of the sunlight and the direction, so it knows. Is the geotropism involved?
I would assume because it says light direction.
I don't want you to leave.
Well, that's phototropism.
You're so smart.
So geotropism is gravity. Right?
Doesn't
So
say that.
geogravity. So
Genetic code.
cool. That's cool.
You might have it.
That's very cool. Cool. Anybody else?
I do have another thing.
Yeah.
The plant hormones, David was right, it is 3. It's auxin, cytokinins,
Cytokinins, yep.
and strigolactones. And the auxin is the one that the apicable one makes. The other ones don't make, and it shoots it downwards and makes the buds not grow at a higher, faster rate beneath it.
And that's all oxen, right?
That's all auxin, yeah.
All oxen. So when we
Oxycodone.
let's say like this one's the dominant one, right? So we suppress this one becomes dominant, this one gets more produces more oxen based off of the sunlight
Yep.
and the genetic makeup. So then this one starts to suppress all the other ones because hey, it's like, hey, I have more sunlight, and my genetic code says I'm gonna be in the front now, so all y'all sit back and take a break. Yeah?
That's the oxen.
Oxen's doing that.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then the one to go sideways is the cytokinins.
One of these.
To go side, to go out?
Yep.
They all have to decide.
Ash trees have a lot of
But it's the
cytokines.
distribution of how much.
They have a lot of that. Cool, very cool.
They will, it'll
So I-
communicate that it needs more oxygen.
Yeah.
I mean, whichever
One
one
will
is.
become the dominant, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else? That was great. Thank you, Jacob.
I pruned it.
All right, as you guys can see, there's a lot. Like we turned page 1, and there's a lot. So these, like 10 pages we're gonna get through is gonna take us some time. It's dense with information, but it will all begin to make sense. So talk to each other about stuff, take the time on your break stuff, look at the trees, try and find the meristems, try and find those lateral meristems. I'm gonna throw that at you guys. What's the difference between a lateral meristem and the apical meristem? Should be self-explanatory, but those are all important. And then also look at how your foremans are pruning the trees. And ask them those questions, like, hey, why did you make that cut there, not the other one? I was gonna make that one, but you took the other one. Can you help me understand why? Okay? It's gonna hold each other accountable, but also it's gonna help you guys learn how to prune and prune correctly. Because once you cut it,
Can't put it back.
you can't put it back. Okay? All right, circle up.
United States.
I got it.
Cooler figured out.
At least like 10 days.
So Chris, welcome back. You guys are saying that
Just you wait.
Oh, way out east of mine.
Yeah. Roading behind.
Yeah.